Hey, Drew. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good. Good to see you, man.
Oh, same here. It's always great to see you. Another Sunday and another great time to get together with my cousin. Sitting here in
Yeah.
Kansas, just enjoyed a nice KU football game. Beat up on BYU yesterday. They're now 4-0, so that's pretty cool. I have my youngest son going to Kansas University, so had some nice family time. But pretty excited to touch base with you today. We're not going to be reviewing a book. But we just wanted to, share some of our latest thoughts and ideas and how things are going. So, how was your week, and what have you been thinking about lately?
Oh, man. Uh, man. First off, it's just good to see you, talk with you again, and I really like where we're going with this because it's helping me drill down on not just where I want to be, but who I want to be. And I'm recognizing through a lot of my journaling habits this week that where I want to be is determined by who I choose to be, the habits I choose to enforce in my life, especially after completing, 90 some odd percent of my sentence, 2 years away or less, who knows, from stepping into society. So this next half has got to be the best half. And that's why everything that we review is of such critical importance to me. Man, my week was good, fast and furious. And I have a good friend of mine, an old cellmate of mine who did 20 years, got out about a year ago. He got resentenced, really got some grace, and got out. And he was at the Husky game last night. We are also 4-0. Go Dogs.
Yep.
But for years, he and I sat there in a cell and talked about and envisioned what it would be like to be in that college atmosphere at one of those games. And he was there last night. So, and I was watching the game, so it gave me great joy. Um, and knowing that our lives and the choices we make are setting the course of our life, it's setting us in a direction. And so, what I'm going to talk about today a little bit um, is about connecting with your why. Connecting with your why, which sets your course, mastering motivation, building your team. And I'm going to anchor that with a little bit of our SHEARS, the first part of SHEARS, something that you and I developed together, which is skills, habits, and energy. And how these three things kind of link together to really kind of propel us where we're headed in life. So that's kind of where I've been, man. How are you doing? What's in your head? What's on your heart? How you been feeling? What's been speaking to you?
Yeah, yeah. So yesterday when I was at the Kansas game, it was pretty nice, because I got my son there at the university. Other son came along as well, so it was a nice family outing. We scarfed down some awesome barbecue at this place called Big's Barbecue. I got to take you there before the game. But then the game was pretty fabulous. The marching band went out on the field. They were impressive. And then they did this Star Spangled Banner, and then they had two F-35s fly over, and that brought a pretty big flood of emotion into my body, just because of serving for 26 and a half years in the Army, and all the people that have been lost, and the peace and freedom that everybody was enjoying watching that football game on the fields of friendly strife. Got me all teared up. So that was a pretty good feeling of contributing to the bigger mission and whatnot. But I think we're at a turning point. Yeah, you and me, Drew, because we have almost like 30 videos that we've recorded. We've been doing this for I can't remember how many years. Is it 4.5 years where we've been emailing each other and uh, sharing books and doing book reviews and creating a lot of videos like this. It's been good for me because I'm trying to just share some of this knowledge that I have an innate interest in, but also helping you on your journey, getting out of incarceration here soon. But to me, it's another spot where I get to volunteer in my life to maybe go to the next phase, because my life has been full of, like you said, choices, right? Way back when I chose to do wrestling. Why? Because I wanted to be my best self, and that was going to test my physical grit, right? Then I, volunteered to try to be the best person in my high school academically. That tested my intellect. Then I wanted to go to the best university that would test, three things. I went to West Point, tested my grit, tested my intellect, and tested my leadership. And then I chose the engineers because that was more diverse than just being an infantryman or armor. Then I volunteered to go into special forces because then I could be around the elite. Again, just testing my intellect and my grit. Volunteered for Ranger School, volunteered for Airborne School. Then I volunteered for combat dive training, which is right up next to BUDS. The training for SEALs, for the hardest training in the U.S. military, or maybe around the world. Past that, became a team leader for a dive team. Then I volunteered to be in the best Army planning school. Got selected and finished that. Volunteered for War College. Of course, they send me to the special one, the one in Pakistan. Volunteered for Battalion Command. So, hey, now I'm ready for the next phase. What is that? I'm ready for us to maybe start building something here where we can help people make smart, wise decisions for their journey in life or whatever obstacles they're facing. I think that your perspective and my perspective can come together and really help people out. And so, that's what's on my mind. And I'm about ready to go pro. I'm ready to go in, all in on this. And I think we can make a difference, not only for ourselves by focusing on something, but I think we can help others in wherever they're at. And even though you are incarcerated, I think we can do this with the technology we have. And so, anyways, that's different, and I think it's unique, and I think we can make a difference. So, anyways, that was a long diatribe. So, back to you. What do you think?
Man, that was impressive. It's funny. You said you did 26 and a half years in the military, and on my 27-year sentence, I got to do 26 years, 8 months. So similar time of service, although distinctly different. Um, no, I admire, man, everything that you've done in the college and pursuit, and obviously, being family. I remember you back then, and I knew that I wanted to strive and achieve something with my life. I just didn't have a why. I didn't really have motivation down, and I didn't know how to choose the people that inhabited my life and how much of an impact that would have on the direction of my life. I have a quote here. It says, anything worth doing isn't always fun. It's never fast. It's certainly not easy. And I never would have embraced that before when I was younger, in my teenage years, right before I came to prison. Because everything had to be fun, it had to be fast, and it had to be easy. But nothing of true value is fast, fun, and easy, They call it fast food, but it's like the worst thing for you. Yeah, it's fast.
Yep.
But it also comes with, it's that, what was that guy that supersized me? Remember he ate McDonald's for like 30 days and like almost died?
Yeah.
And then you have home cooked food, which isn't easy and isn't fast, but it's way more nourishing. And that's what it is like with life. Do you want a fast food life, or do you want this slow roast, home cooked, organic vegetables out of the garden?
Yep.
And a lot of time, my problem was, yes, I wanted the nutrition of that organic garden, fresh vegetables, fruit, slow roasted, but I wanted it fast.
Yeah.
And these two desires are contrary, and one of them's gonna win, and one of them's gonna lose. People who lose their way. Okay, excuse me. People lose their way when they lose their why. And I think that was a critical question that you might have been asking yourself very early on, that I didn't start asking myself until my life had completely crashed, and I woke up in the county jail at the age of 20, and life was over.
Yeah.
So any dream that I might have had was completely done. And I had to ask myself, now what is going to be your why? And so that kind of became my combat dive school. That kind of became my ranger school.
Yep.
Is now to pursue my best self in life's worst situation, because maximum security prison and the different custody levels, closed custody on down, um, you don't find the best characters. And now suddenly I wanted to be my best character. So I've been backwards my whole life. I was in a good world and I wanted to be bad, and then I came to a bad world and I did everything in my power to become good. But that has given me my journey. But connecting with my why, learning how to master motivation. I just told you in the opening of this video that my good friend Jensen and I would watch college football together.
Yep.
And we would allow that mindset. We would like almost teleport ourselves. And he and I both went to college through correspondence. I think he and I both graduated from Ohio University. Um, we're identifying with something that was not in our surrounding, and we allowed that to motivate us into our workouts, to better study habits, to
Yep.
better life choices, and building your team. I told you that he and I lived together, and and it was those three things: reaffirming my why, which I did with my walk with God, and my connection to my family and you. Mastering motivation, choosing the things that I would allow to fuel me, and then making sure that I'm having the right people around me. And when I got those three things wrong in society, this was my result, where I'm
Yep.
at now.
Yep.
And when I got those three things right, it completely transformed my life.
Yep.
Go ahead, man. We got five and a half minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Drew. And I don't know why I was thinking that way back in high school, but I'm like, I don't want to be. I don't want to go to the parties where they're, drinking alcohol in the middle of the desert. I want to make myself better, faster, stronger, and I'm going to go to West Point because then I'll be around people that think like me. And so, that's what I did. And then that's been my journey. Is okay. Okay? Give me something harder. What else can I do? Let's take it up. Keep on taking it up notches. And so now that I'm in my 50s, and you and I have this great friendship, partnership, dialogue that I think is really not just benefiting us, but can benefit others. I'm ready to invest and go pro, go professional in this space and see what we can do with it. This will be the next challenge. How can we contribute to others based on the life lessons that both of us have had? Because I think there's connective tissue. Even though our journeys have been different, there are principles that we've been living by, that are very similar. And I think that sometimes I can be too intellectual in my discussion, and then sometimes you help bring me down to earth and be more relevant to different group of humanity. And I think the combination of us can be pretty powerful. So I'm excited about it, and I'm interested in reading some books on how we can enhance our ability to do this and to go for it. And you have 2.5 years left before you're released, and I'd like to
Yeah.
really concentrate on that. So, anyways, that's what's exciting
So
for me.
how did you build goals that were in your discomfort zone, not in the comfort zone?
Um, how did I build goals? I
Yeah, were
think
they
I
in
always
discomfort zone, that they were stretch goals. You had to reach for
yeah.
them. You knew you weren't going to be comfortable. What you know,
I just
because there's
always
three zones he talked about:
yeah.
the comfort zone, discomfort zone, and the delusional zone.
Yeah. Well, I just kept on volunteering for harder things. So when I was in high school, I looked up all the different wrestling camps you could go in the country. And so I went to the hardest wrestling camps in the summer, and one of them was ran by this guy named Jay Robinson, and he was the assistant coach to Dan Gable, and he modeled the curriculum based off Ranger School. where you don't, where, hey,
Yeah.
if you're the top person working out that day with the best motivation, you got a positive. If you're lagging, you're lagging your butt in the workout, you got a negative. And then they kept score, and you weren't going to graduate if you had too many negatives, and you needed a bunch of positives. So it's just, I latched onto that, and that probably the structure I had in the military. I just kept on volunteering for the next thing, and I would just train for the next thing, and kept on going through all those hard courses. So writing it now, since I've been working with you, I'm writing out more goals, trying to improve what I'm doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis in this space, but also at work, and it's beneficial. But I'm really I'm reading this pretty cool book right now called 10x is easier than 2x, and
That's
it
going to be
forced.
our next review, huh?
Yep, yep. If not, yeah, if not the next one, the one right after. And it says, hey, you just can't do more things and do things, harder. You got to do things smarter. You actually need to get rid
Yeah.
of some stuff you're doing and focus on things. It's called the Pareto principle. Take the 20% that's really, reaping big dividends of your life, because 20% gives you 80% of the results, and
Yeah.
then get rid of the 80% of junk, and then focus on that 20, and that becomes your new 80. And you got to 10x your life. And I think that's what I've been doing all my life, is I've been changing my mindset and reframing myself to new identities, and these identities have been going up and up and up through my life. But you've been doing the same thing in prison, and doing things that make you different, make you stand out, working out, following God, leading ministry there in prison, etc., and going to school, and I think things like that is what makes you different, gets you out of your comfort zone.
Well, man, this has been a good talk, man. And I just want to encourage everybody. I want to know your why. I want to know what drives you. How do you get motivation? And how do you get out of the comfort zone and start building stretch goals into your life that are in the discomfort zone? So if you could reach out to us, let us know that. We really want to know how you're getting to where you want to go. And cousin, I love you, and I look forward to checking out this new book, distilling it down,
Yep.
and sharing it with the people, man.
Hey, I agree. And then we'll bring it back to our favorite framework of SHEARS: skills, habits,
SHEARS,
energy,
that's right.
attitude, relationships, and service. We think those are the 6 areas you need to focus on in life.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Have a good week.
Take care, Drew.